It is WrestleMania 42 week. Happy WrestleMania week to everyone who celebrates. It's been an exciting, well, kind of semi-exciting road to WrestleMania. Lots of bumps, lots of misses. We're going to get into that. But today, I will give you my final WrestleMania 42 predictions. There are 7 matches on night 1 and 6 matches on night 2. So let's get into this. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the usuals. Turn on the notification bell. Really trying to grow this channel as much as I can. But let's get into this WrestleMania 42 match card. To kick off WrestleMania as a whole and night 1, it's WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Irresistible Forces, versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, versus WWE Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins, in a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, there has been a little bit of a back and forth because apparently Nikki Bella is injured, so they might have the Kabuki Warriors come in to replace them. So that's been a wrench thrown in the plans for a potential Asuka versus Io Sky match at WrestleMania, which Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are right there. Why can't you just throw them in there and then still do Io versus Asuka? But whatever, that's stupid. This is a match, I mean, I think it'll be a fun match. I'm not really anticipating it as much as some other matches on the card. It's not fully a match that I'm invested in. I can see the Irresistible Forces retaining, but I think, honestly, I'm going to go with Lyra and Bayley, especially because Bayley was taken out of WrestleMania last year just to give them that moment. Plus, I think they'd be the best team to win. I just think they're the most fun, and I really like Lyra, so I'm going to go with Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Next, IShowSpeed and World Tag Team Champions The Vision versus LA Knight and the Usos. This is IShowSpeed's wrestling debut. I don't really know why, by the way. WWE and TKO really need the need to push celebrities into these matches, especially around WrestleMania. Trust me, we're going to get into that again. You know, Speed is clearly very athletic. He's very charismatic as well, so I think he'll be fun in the match. Again, this is also not a match that I'm really anticipating either. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a nice match. As much as people hate to say it, and maybe a part of me as well, but Logan Paul is a good wrestler. He's probably not really a great person, but he's a great wrestler. And there's Austin Theory, who's, again, should have been pushed as a babyface, but whatever. And then, of course, you know, LA Knight and the Usos are over as always. I think I'm going to go with Speed and Vision win, because you also just had last night on Raw, LA Knight and the Usos go over against the MFTs, and usually, if you know wrestling, if you stand tall on the go-home show of the pay-per-view, or PLE, chances are you're not winning at the show. So I think I'm going to go with IShowSpeed and the Vision take the win at WrestleMania. By the way, I just realized that I said the women's tag team title match is going to kick off WrestleMania. It's not. I believe it's the previous match I just said, the IShowSpeed and Vision versus Knight and Usos. Just want to put that out there. Next, Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. I've been surprised about how excited I am for this match, to be honest. The build has actually been surprisingly good and very violent, which I'm very, very happy about. I was hoping when this match was announced that it was going to be Hell in a Cell, just because I want to see a Hell in a Cell match. And it's been it's been a couple years since we've had one. But I think Unsanctioned is going to be great. The last Unsanctioned match we had was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber last year. That was like one of the best matches of the year. So I'm very excited. Both wrestlers are fantastic in the ring. I think it'll be a fun, gruesome match, and I'm really hoping that we get some real crazy spots in this match. Apparently, Drew is going away after WrestleMania to film, maybe it's a TV show. So I think there is going to be a big spot where Drew gets written off and Jacob ultimately gets the win at WrestleMania. And then maybe after WrestleMania, it pushes Jacob really into the main event scene. So really push Jacob Fatu as a real big star, which he ultimately is becoming. So I think Jacob Fatu gets the win over Drew McIntyre. Next, it is Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, if you saw my Elimination Chamber predictions video, you saw that I predicted Becky to retain and AJ do a rematch here, and AJ wins the belt. Obviously, I was wrong. Now, thinking about it, I think Becky, unfortunately, is going to win back the Women's IC title because AJ Lee is a part-timer, and I don't really see them keeping the belt on her after this. And they kind of have been pushing that Becky has never really got one up on AJ. It's always AJ getting the win over her and getting the upper hand on Becky. So I think it's going to be this where Becky, the heel, finally gets a win over AJ, the babyface. So, which is weird booking, but I don't know. I wish I was more excited for this match. I'm excited to see AJ Lee after all these years. That'll be exciting. I don't see anything in Becky Lynch. She's a horrible talker. She's a horrible wrestler. This is just my opinion. I just don't buy anything that she sells. It's corny and it's unbelievable, not in a good way. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Their Elimination Chamber match was fine. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. But yeah, Becky will win the title. Next is probably an underrated dark horse of a match that we are getting. Kind of thrown together at the last minute. But it is Gunther versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, this is going to be a fantastic match. I think that Gunther is going to go over here. I don't really see any way that Seth really wins, to be honest. I can see Braun Breaker returning, of course, in Triple H's favorite, the black hoodie gimmick. And he's going to spear Seth. Gunther's going to take over and get the win. And I think ultimately that is going to really build up Gunther and have him retire Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam this year. That's just my prediction of that. But I think it's going to be a fantastic match, but I do think that Gunther goes over and gets the win over Seth. Next, Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. This has been a really hard-hitting build-up for this title match. It's not really a match that I think is WrestleMania worthy. When I think of Stephanie versus Liv, I just feel like, oh, you could see that on any Raw. You know what I mean? To me, I don't buy Liv as a main event caliber superstar. I just don't. I don't know what it is, but I think she kind of overdoes it. She, like, the scream and the laugh and the yelling. I've watched the segments just because I want to know everything for WrestleMania, but I have no interest in watching anything with Liv Morgan in it. I just think it's obnoxious as hell. But I'm really hoping that Stephanie retains the title, but I don't think she's going to. I think they're going to give the women's world title to Liv Morgan. And what I'm hoping is going to be a good match. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Yeah, I mean, that one spot where Liv bumped into Roxanne and had that giant bulge on her forehead, Jesus, that was crazy. So the build has been good. I'm hoping it exceeds my expectations. And I'm hoping Stephanie retains, but I think it's going to be Liv. And finally, to end night one of WrestleMania, it's undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship. With Pat McAfee, of all people, in Randy Orton's corner. Man, isn't just everyone excited to have Pat McAfee versus Cody Rhodes? Wait, no, it's not Pat McAfee versus Cody Rhodes. It's Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I completely forgot. This whole time, it's been looking like it's Pat versus Cody. Gosh, they've done a real good job with this build-up, haven't they? Since Pat McAfee was introduced into this build of this matchup of WrestleMania, it has completely taken the soul and the fun and the intrigue out of this match. I might as well go up and get a hot dog during this match because I don't care anymore, honestly, at this point. It's just become so obnoxious and lackluster. That last promo on SmackDown with Pat, and he's just every 5 seconds flipping off the crowd and trying to be The Rock. I don't understand what the point was. Apparently TKO shoved him into there to sell WrestleMania tickets. Pat McAfee isn't going to sell WrestleMania tickets. Nobody cares about Pat McAfee. What are we doing here? There is years and years of a long rivalry with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and you could easily build off that. And it's so simple. You could have like pull apart brawls and big war of words between them. No. Let's shove Pat McAfee in there and let's bring back the Attitude Era, and Randy Orton's gonna save the business. Oh my God, it's awful. But prediction wise, I think that they're gonna give Randy Orton the championship because they also keep pushing that Pat McAfee is gonna go away if Cody retains. And I think they're just not gonna do that, really. I think Pat, unfortunately, is gonna stick around for a little bit. But yeah, I think Randy's gonna win. I don't really see Cody walking out with the belt. Might be the same thing as last year where Cody kind of chases the title through the summer. Maybe even do a rematch at SummerSlam. I don't know. I wish I cared about this match more because I feel like I should, but ever since they included Pat McAfee, no, I'm good. Randy wins. All right, whatever. Moving on to Night 2, WrestleMania Sunday. It's Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. It's going to be a huge mistake if you have Brock Lesnar go over Oba Femi, because you have Brock Lesnar, who is practically on his way out of the company, and you have Oba Femi, who is quite literally entering the main roster as we speak. So if you have Brock go over and win, you completely kill Oba's momentum. Completely. It makes absolutely zero sense if you have Brock Lesnar win. 0 cents. So I'm hoping Oba wins. It's going to be a fantastic match. I can't imagine it's more than like 10 minutes. And I don't think it should be. It's one of my most anticipated, if not my most anticipated match of WrestleMania weekend. I think it's going to be Oba Femi, and Oba Femi needs to win this. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Oba wins. Next is another anticipated match that I think could be a show stealer. Intercontinental Champion Penta versus JD McDonough versus Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans versus Rusev versus WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio in a 6-pack challenge match, a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I do see Penta retaining here. I think Penta has just been on a roll. The only other person I can see winning the title is Javon Evans, which I wouldn't be opposed to. I love Javon. He's a great wrestler. I think Penta is just he's on such a roll, and he's so over. I think you have to give it to Penta. You have to have Penta retain, and just keep doing these some of these open challenges too on Raw. Have him keep going, man. Penta's on a roll. Why stop it? Next, it is United States Champion Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. I don't see any way Sami Zayn retains here. It's obviously Trick Williams is going to win the title here. I am going to be meeting Sami Zayn on Thursday. I'm very excited. I hope he lets me hold the U.S. title. Fingers crossed. But yeah, Trick is so over. Clearly the fans are booing Sami Zayn. I like Sami Zayn, I really do. I'm not going to boo him if I see him. I think he's a great wrestler. I don't understand why he's getting booed. People are pushing the whole Sammy Hogan. Like, guys, he's not Sammy Hogan. He's not politicking his way into winning the title and all these things. Like, he's never even won the world title. But anyway, Trick Williams is going to walk out of WrestleMania 42 as the new United States Champion. Next, Dominik Mysterio versus the Demon Finn Balor. They should have really waited to announce the Demon for WrestleMania. Not even announce it like as a surprise. You know, they teased it on Raw. And then they were like, Demon is going to be facing Dominik at WrestleMania. Like, way to ruin the surprise. There's no reason or no way that Dominik walks out with the win. It's clearly going to be the Demon Finn Balor going out with the win, as it should. I can't imagine this is going to be a long match either. Like, I can't imagine they go like 20 plus minutes. I think it'll be a good match. I wish there was a stipulation towards it because there's so much years in history between the two that I think there should be some sort of stipulation, but I think Demon Finn Balor walks out with the win. Next, another match I wish I was more excited for, WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. This is also a build that I think could have been done better. I think it was also just thrown together because I think Bianca Belair was supposed to be in the spot, but of course she's been out for a year with a finger injury. But yeah, it's clearly, I think Rhea Ripley is going to walk out the new WWE Women's Champion. Jade Cargill has been on such an awful title reign. She's had one title defense in 5 months. That's ridiculous. That's freaking ridiculous. So I just think they need a refresh, especially on SmackDown. I think they just need to have Rhea win the title. You could have Jade chase it if you want. I just think it's time for a change, and I think it's time to have Rhea win the title. Clearly she's over. Clearly people love Rhea. So why not give her the title at WrestleMania? Finally, it is the main event of WrestleMania. It's World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, after last night's Monday Night Raw segment, man, they really kind of watered down what was a great segment 2 weeks ago, or last week, where it was Punk cutting the pipe bomb on Roman, TKO, Pat, you know, that whole thing. And that really bumped my enthusiasm and excitement up. But I feel like Roman has been really watered down too as well. Punk comes out and says, I'm going to bury you next to your father. And then Roman comes out the next week, yeah, well, you're old. Like, really? Really? That's what we're going with? What happened to the tribal chief Roman Reigns? He, like, WrestleMania 39 and 40 was just unleashing on Cody. And just the promo battles were great. Like, Roman knows how to talk. But instead he says Phil every 5 seconds. And calls him old when he's not much younger than him. It just, I don't know. They've really watered down OTC Roman Reigns. Which, by the way, can I just put out there, they keep calling him I know it's probably because they call him the OTC because it's easy to chant and it's good just throw on a t-shirt, and it's supposed to mean the original tribal chief. No one else is trying to be the tribal chief anymore. That whole solo thing is over. The whole solo Roman program is over. Why are we still calling him the original tribal chief? Just call him the tribal chief. He is the tribal chief. Best in the world versus the tribal chief, not best in the world versus OTC. I don't know, it's a weird pet peeve of mine. Bugs me. But I digress. I can go back and forth. I really don't know who's going to win this, but I like that. I like when the main event is unpredictable. I think if I had to choose, I think they're going to give it to Roman Reigns. I think that would be cool. I would like to see Roman Reigns with the World Heavyweight Championship. I just think that going into SummerSlam, I think they would have Roman drop it to a big star, maybe even Obafemi. That's a great big matchup you could do. CM Punk, however, is on a fantastic run right now as the World Heavyweight Champion. He's had amazing matches. He's had amazing title defenses and promos. This could be one of the best World Heavyweight Championship runs we've ever seen. So to see it end would be sad. I do think there is a possibility he could retain, but I am going to go with Roman Reigns wins the championship here. I hope it's a great match. They had a fantastic match last year at WrestleMania in the triple threat with Seth Rollins. Yeah, ultimately, I think I'm going to go Roman Reigns wins the title. Those are my WrestleMania 42 predictions. I leave in probably less than 48 hours. I'm so freaking excited. The nerves have kicked in, but it's going to be an amazing weekend. I cannot believe it is my third WrestleMania in a row. I never thought I'd go to one, let alone three. So I'm very happy. I'm very fortunate. I'm very excited to have these opportunities to live these childhood dreams of mine multiple years in a row. So, and I'm looking forward to filming it for everyone and, of course, to look back on years from now. So I will see everyone this weekend for WrestleMania 42.